The relative point.
Okay.
But she's so excitable. I think she kind of forgets. She was going in front of me a lot. So
Okay.
it felt like it felt so mean to like continually turn and like do the correction thing. Because I feel like she's just like excited. But
Okay. So dogs don't think like mean or anything like that, you know, like, or you're being mean to me, so you can let that go.
Okay.
Because that kind of thought process will hold you back.
Okay.
Obviously I care for my clients' dogs and I care about dogs a lot. But what happens is you try to work through all these kind of nuances to help her, but then it makes her life very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna set that aside, and as we go along and make progress, you'll start to see like there's things that you can start to let up on and things like that.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what she is.
Yeah, I don't even see another dog.
Yeah, there's a little golden retriever right there. All right, but I don't think she's escalating because of that. So what we're gonna do here, what was your working number when you tried it on your own?
I had to bounce between like 30 and 40-ish.
Okay.
It seemed like she just didn't care about much less than that.
Okay, sure. So what we'll do is let me go ahead and go down to the 15.
15? Okay.
And I'm gonna have you just tell me what you're doing, and I want to see what you retained in terms of finding her working level and when you think you have it. Okay.
Okay, so just try the walking thing?
Well, first you want to get working level, right? So what's your number currently?
15.
Okay. So you always want to do working level when you are stationary, because it's very obvious. Okay. Once you're moving, like you could spend 20 minutes trying to find that working level, but because she's moving, you can't really tell. So it's always best when stationary. Okay. So then you'll go and just tap, tap, tap. So you see how there's no response, right? We'll go to 20.
Yeah. Okay.
Tap,
That's fine.
tap, tap. Still no response. 25.
Start tapping?
Tap, tap, tap. No response. 30. She's an anxious girl. Tap, tap, tap. No response. 35.
What's the response I'm looking for?
That's a little bit better. Hold. Tap, 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 tap. So we had it, but then it's now not enough. 40.
Okay.
I'll point it out once we see it. Tap, tap, tap. 45. We're getting close. Tap, tap, tap. 50. This is normal.
Okay.
Tap, 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 tap. So you see how she keeps looking the other way? We're gonna pause for a second, right? So that her attention is away from us here, right? So just look at her now. Tap, tap,
Wow, they're gonna remain.
tap. See how it's not? She's still that way.
Yeah.
55.
She doesn't care about it.
Exactly. Tap, tap, tap. Wait a moment. Let her. So now let's watch where her attention goes. Say, right? So you see how it's still in the environment, right? Tap, tap, tap. You're at 55?
Yes.
60. Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, so you see it again, still in the environment, 65. And again, this is normal.
Okay.
Tap, maybe, tap, tap, tap. We're kind of there. 65.
That was 65.
That was 70.
7.
Tap, tap. Wait a moment. Tap, tap, tap. So again, still in phase, right? 75.
Still doesn't care.
Yeah. Welcome to working with a pity.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that's why she wasn't as responsive on my own.
Yeah, tap, tap, tap. It's a little better. Oh, we're gonna pause for a second. And tap. Wait a moment. Tap, tap. There. So you see how she's starting to fidget around?
That's not yours. Yeah.
So the fidgeting around is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay, so like let's say she was like, so get this camera. What's her name again?
Malachite?
Malachite. Let's say she's staring at something, right? Like she was, and you see this, but she's still staring.
Okay.
Not the right number.
She doesn't care about it.
Let's say we see the twitch, and then we see a little bit of like going on, that would be perception level. Now it's something that she's getting it, but it's not there yet. And then, whoa, what was that?
Okay.
That more of a exaggerated response is the I don't like this. What is this all about?
She's like looking around trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what we call urgency.
Okay.
So whenever you're in an uncomfortable situation, you want to remove yourself or get it to stop. Same thing for the dog. So this is discomfort, right? And the reason why I get such quick results on all those lessons and stuff is because I always find that working number. Because I know the dog's going to want to stop this. But it's simple enough with guidance and the dog can learn, like, oh, this is what I got to do in order to get this to resolve itself. And then that number may come down lower as she starts to settle, or it may stay the same. So she would be like the 5th or 6th dog in the past 3 months. Oh, dog. Yeah, tap, 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 right there. You see that difference?
Yeah.
So right there, the slow taps wasn't enough to disengage her, but you can also kind of fake intensity through rapid fire. Okay? So don't worry about getting all this right away. We're gonna make it super simple. Okay, it's a lot of information, but that was me testing this range and what it needs. So I already have an idea of what you're dealing with. Okay.
Awesome.
And if you'd like to set yourself down, stuff down, feel free to do so. And I'm gonna coach through everything. So very simple exercise. Here's my range. Okay. Is as you saw in the video. What we're gonna do is, for now, your leash being short is okay. But once you start training, so when you're stationary, this is okay. But once you're moving, you want to give slack. Okay. She needs space to make mistakes. Because that's how we teach her what we want her to do and what we don't want her to do. Okay. But while you're stationary, that's okay. So we teach on the left. So when Malachite gets ahead of you, you're gonna be making a 180 turn to immediate right. Every time I say turn, what you saw, right? It's always gonna be just like this. And you always want to keep your movement as you're going, okay? Don't stop, turn, and go like that. You have to keep it fluid, okay? The next thing would be, I'm going to say the word tap. And then that's when you're going to be pressing that button, right? So if I say tap, 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 or tap, 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 that would be your rhythm, okay? Now when we give slack here, let's go ahead and let your leash go a little bit. And oh, is she on a double leash?
Yeah, because she breaks out of this one.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so then what you're going to do here is going to relax. I'm going to have you're going to have the handle, and you're going to grab just below the handle. Like that. Perfect. Okay. So she's got some slack, but not too much slack. Okay. So don't worry about any of this here. Go ahead and just walk forward so you're on the sidewalk. And then we're gonna get started, okay? So now, go ahead and turn, tap, tap, good. Turn, tap, 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 good. Turn, tap, pull to your left, tap, tap, keep forward, yep, good. Turn, tap. We'll let these pass, yeah. You're okay. And you're at 75?
Yeah.
Let's go 78 while we're waiting. And then instead of going forward, you're going to just turn to your right.
Turn my right?
Yeah, forward, there you go. Turn, tap, and I'm going to have you go a little bit of a slower pace. Pull to your left, tap, tap, there you go. Relax, turn, tap, good. And I'm going to have you do slower taps. Okay, turn, tap, good. Pull to your left, tap. Good. Relax. Good. Turn. Tap. Hold it. Keep forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. Now turn. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Good. Keep turn. Tap. Keep pull to your right or left. I'm sorry. Turn. Tap. Good. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. Relax. Good. Turn. Good. Pull to your left, tap. Good. Turn, tap.
She did go to the bathroom right before coming here, by the way.
It's okay. Pull to your left, tap. Good. Slow turn. Keep forward. Keep forward. Turn, tap. Pull to your left, tap, tap. Good, relax. Slow turn. Keep forward. Hug to your right a little bit. Tap. Hug to the right of the sidewalk. Relax. Turn. Tap. Keep forward. Good. Slow that pace down a little bit. Turn. Tap. Good. Hug to the right.
Right?
Yeah, right of the sidewalk. There you go. Slower walk. Turn. Tap. Good. Good. Keep forward. Hug to the right. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Yeah, good. Slow walk. Slow turn. Right. Good job. Tap. Keep forward. Tap. Keep forward. Good. Slower. Slower walk. Turn. Tap. Tap. Good. Slow turn. Tap. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. 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 Pull to your left. Tap. 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 Good. Slow turn. Good. Forward. Slow walk. Keep forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. Oh, you're at 78, right?
Yes.
81. Turn. Tap. Slow walk. Slow turn. Yeah, going to step aside for this scooter. Up. Tap. Going to relax. Forward. Turn. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Keep forward. Good job. Good job. Slow turn. Good. Pull to your float. Yeah.
You what?
Go toward. Yeah, sorry. My brain. Is turn. Tap. Is I'm gonna have you favor the right side of the sidewalk and keep that left arm relaxed. There you go. Just like that. Because every time you're on the left of the sidewalk, she tends to walk on the grass or the gravel. Going to slow turn. Yep. Forward and gravitate towards the right. Tap. Good. There you go. And slow walk. Whoa. Turn. Tap. Oh, tap, tap, tap. Good. Good. Now slow turn. Relax that left arm. Tap forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. Good. Go ahead and hug, relax the left arm. There you go. Turn. Tip. Good. Slow walk. Slower. Turn. Tap, tap. Good. Pull to your left. Tap. Keep pulling. Tap, tap. You got it. Good. Slow turn. Tap. Slow walk. Pull to your left. Tap. 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 Good. Forward tap. Good. You got it. Good. Go ahead and slow turn. Tap. Tap. Right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to switch up our equipment. She's okay with people, right?
Yeah, she's good with people.
Okay.
She's excited. She doesn't even know you. She's pretty excited.
Little does she know I'm the guy behind all that.
Yeah. So is it normal with pit bulls to have them be like, you said like, welcome to training a pitty, is it a high energy?
Pitties are one, very physically tough dogs because they're bred for fighting. Two, they were bred with an intensity for the fighting. And that intensity is what a lot of mental intensity. The anxiety, like an anxious pitty, a nervous pitty, or an aggressive pitty. Is a very different. So I have it secured on the prong here. So I'm going to remove this, okay? Is that energy that intensity that they have. That fuels, your aggressive responses. It's the same intensity that fuels all these other issues. Okay. So it's not, for me, not out of the ordinary. That's why we're switching here to that. Okay. Is I already saw progress. Okay. What you're gonna struggle with is her anxiety and overstimulate, like with everything going on around here. Yeah. Okay. That's why we're so high. Okay. Okay. So the prong collar, I typically don't do prong with e-collar. Okay. But this is going to give you much more physical leverage and control over like explosive moments than your gentle leader would. Okay. I'm not opposed to a gentle leader, but she's feeling a bit more negative pressure to settle her down. Okay. But you're going to use it the exact same as you would use that. They're very much the same, they just look different. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll see how she does with this. If she's doing well with it, I'll borrow you this one. Okay. And then I'll send you a link on Amazon. They're like 25 to 30 bucks. Oh, that sounds so bad. Yeah. And then we would use these two things in conjunction. Okay. So we're going to try that again. Okay. Whenever you're ready, you're going to go ahead and give that slack like we had before and grab by also by the base of the handle. Yep, that's perfect. And then turn to your right and forward. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. Pull to your right. I'm left. Tap. Uh-oh. Tap. There you go. Go ahead and slow turn. Tap. Pull to your... There we go. You're at 81 now?
Yes.
Let's go down to 65. Okay. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. Tap. Pull to your left. Good. Relax. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. Now slow walk here. Turn. Tap. 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 Let's go to 70. Turn. Tap. Good. Keep forward. There you go. Turn. Tap. 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 75. Go and slow turn. Tap. Forward. Tap. 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 There we go. Now slow walk. Slower walk. Slower. Stop. Good. Go ahead and turn towards me. Okay, now you're going to pull up on your leash and tap. 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 And relax. Very good. Okay. So the difference is I went much higher. I went double essentially where you were at before, which is normal. Okay. Because I'm looking for very specific things. I already know what I'm looking for. And you're like watching a video, trying to retain much of that video as you can, and then you're going out, maybe you're pulling up the video as you're doing it, right? So it's all perfectly fine. I encourage it. And that's why those videos are there. Is you weren't matching her intensity yet. Okay. Now, we're still not at the real range that we're probably going to end at. Okay. But I'm wanting to show you the difference of like when you're closer to her breaking point. Everybody has a breaking point of like, okay, I can't stand this anymore. Once you get that through, then her brain starts to retain or accept what you're trying to teach, which is go follow me. Okay? Tap, 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 tap. And what you can do here is go ahead and grab higher up before you're about halfway through. And you're gonna, as you're standing still, pull to your left, tap, tap, up, tap, tap, and relax. Now take one little step back so that you're next to her. Very good. But more so like this. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So you see how she's staring here, right? Yeah. That is crazy because that dog is
really far away.
250 feet, if not more, away. Okay. Yes. So Tap. There we go. All right. So what we're gonna do here is I don't care what she does after you correct her. Okay. Correct again. Correct again. There we go. I just want her to disengage.
Okay, so tap it until she's not even looking at the other
Correct.
dog. Okay.
So we have 4 responses to things. We have fight, flight, avoidance, submission. Okay. I categorize reactivity, lunging and barking, as fight response.
Okay.
Okay. So we don't want that. I don't need her to be happy when she sees dogs, but I don't want her to be angry or whatever, right? So we're saying I don't care what you do, but just don't do that.
Okay.
Okay. That includes staring, because staring, especially from that distance, will turn into something. Okay.
Yeah.
So throughout this week, as we start nitpicking at things, the idea here is that she starts to settle, and we make progress each week. But it should be fairly simple.
Okay.
Now, let's say the dog is on the sidewalk walking by, and that's harder. That makes sense, right? That dog was 250 feet away, and it was very quick because we're at the 70 whatever number. So, but it took 75 or whatever from that distance, but within 1 to 2 taps. Okay, it should never feel like an argument with e-collar.
Okay.
That's why working number is so important. Okay, this is why I'm very me as a trainer, I'm very effective with addressing these things. Because most trainers, or people go about like really low, like like treating it like a very delicate thing. Like dogs fight each other.
Yeah.
That's why dogs fight each other. Okay, when they play, when they settle things, they bite each other. Okay, so we're not doing this out of meanness. We're doing this so that you can have a nice, enjoyable walk and not have to be so anxious when you're out and about. Okay, so as you have successes and you see like, oh, I have these tools and it's effective, and we start to see a dip in reactivity, your anxiety is going to start to go down. Okay, but it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's usually how it works. Okay, so what I always encourage the first week is, if the owner is confident enough, is to like I wouldn't let's say 5 to 7 is prime busy dog time. Is if you're ready for it, go for it.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's like, I got to build up to that, then you would target times where it's like maybe half or quarter as busy as those prime times.
Okay.
So you're still exposing yourself, but it's not like 100 dogs, it's only 20 dogs.
Okay.
So, and I take advantage, so here, since you have familiarity already with the exercises, is if we saw a dog coming down the sidewalk, which we may in a moment, we got one over there, is you would step aside here, okay, to the curb. Have her do this. You shorten your leash because that limits range of motion. Okay, so if she has a full slack, she can get 5 feet ahead. Here, I take that slack up just where you have it, okay? So you're limiting range of motion. You're giving space to make it easier, so we're going to do that now. We're going to step aside. Yep, you're going to pivot inwards, right? Up, tap, and relax. And then relax, right? So I don't care which way she faces.
Okay.
What's important is that you're facing this way. Okay? Because you're saying we're not going to run from this. And then now watch. Up, tap. And now relax. Up, tap, 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 tap. Right? Up, tap, tap. And now relax. Up, tap, tap. And relax. Good. Okay, tap. There we go. Tap again. Tap, tap. Good. Because you want that disengagement. Relax. Good. Better. Okay? So, a much different response than over there.
Yes.
So and he gave space. He gave you about 20 feet. So that was very nice of him.
Yes.
Because he's going, I see you're doing something, so then he responds. Not everybody's going to do that.
Yeah, I was watching the one video where that person let their dog walk up to the dog with the muzzle on.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
with
were just
Poncho,
like,
the German
why?
Shepherd. And I said no. They're like, can we say hi? I said no. Yeah, welcome to Chicago, okay? Welcome to humanity. So, that may happen, okay? So, I'm going to give you this 10 years of like dealing with people's BS that I'm going to educate you as best I can on everything you may come across, okay? The main thing here is don't worry about that behavior.
Okay.
Now, from before, okay, I'm going to assume that was easier. Yes or no?
No.
It was easier. Okay, good. So I want to make sure. So I want to make sure I'm not like putting words in your mouth. So please feel free to say no, it wasn't. But, the main thing to remember is always straight up.
Okay.
People tend to go back or up and back. Okay, back escalates, up and back escalates. Okay, up de-escalates. So these two things, we have a tool that can calm a dog down, and the way you're using your prong is also de-escalating. Okay, so you have the two things working in your favor. That spiral is just the intensity having to go somewhere, okay? That's normal. As you target these things repeatedly, boom, 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 her brain should ideally not even go there. Okay, where it becomes easier and easier each time. But that's why it's important that you do not, it's important that, that you follow through. Okay? And you might find this first week it's like 100 taps every walk. And then like after a week it's about 90 taps, and then after a week it's 80 taps. Like it might be a slow decline, but it's a decline nonetheless. You know, I wish I could get everybody quick 180 turnarounds, you know, it doesn't always work that way. But we want to just feel like, yeah, that was easier, man, that was much better. Her intensity was like maybe a 50% or a 60%, that's still down, right? But you're doing things now to set yourself up to win, but she's gonna fail, okay? Like that's part of the process. The reason why other methods fail is because they're not realistic. They'll tell people like, you know, cross the street, carry a bag of food with you, but then the intensity's too high, it's not gonna matter.
She doesn't care about the trees.
Yeah, you turn around the corner, what are you gonna do? So everything that I teach you will be effective in the real world. But the other thing is here, when you step aside and do all this stuff, you're building a habit. Okay, so the one thing that people don't think about is when you turn a corner in dog, is now it's so sudden, most people panic. But if you've done this 100 times, where you step aside and do this when you see a dog, when you turn the corner, you're automatically going into those habits that are going to help you succeed within that moment, okay? So it's very simple, Cap. And Cap, relax. Good, go ahead and just take a step to your right there. Good. It's very simple, okay? But now it's just being proactive. Okay. So that e-collar, it can both teach things that the dog should do and also teach them what not to do. Okay. So with the healing exercise, we're teaching her, you do this when we're walking. But then when we see a dog, we're teaching her, you don't do that when you see a dog. Okay? Questions about this so far?
I don't think so. When I'm walking, and there's like the fence dogs that I was talking about near my house, should I just keep walking? I should do the turn thing for that instance, right?
I have a video
I
can send you. If you would, please just shoot me an email, say, Jesse, send me that video about the fence. And I can forward it to you.
Awesome.
It would be easiest to watch it.
That.
Yeah, and then, not that we can't ask questions on it later,
Yeah.
but so we can focus more on the leaf walking stuff. For now, if you see a fence and you know there's a dog behind it, you can also, if the fence is here on my right side, you can also hug out on the left. Yeah, to give space. The more space there is, the easier it is to handle the dog. That's why from a distance that dog earlier was much easier as opposed to a dog that was 20, 30 feet away. Okay? But yeah, it's not that you're wrong, that's technically an approach, but it may not always be effective.
I guess since I have this prong collar, I can stop doubling up, huh? Like, not have both collars on anymore?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a possibility prongs can come undone, unfortunately. I've had it happen 4 times in 10 years. So it's very rare. It's usually because the owner doesn't put the prong on correctly. And I have videos I can send you on this as well, how to open and undo them and all that stuff. But it really comes down to your comfort level. But I would secure her instead with the harness to a buckle collar, like a belt buckle. Okay, those are more secure because the harness empowers her and makes her more relaxed. So we're gonna try that back and forth exercise again. We don't have any dogs coming, so you can go ahead and let that slack go. Yep, and forward. And grab by just underneath the handle. There you go. Turn, tap, tap. Slow your pace. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Slow, yep. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Keep forward. Go ahead and there we go, perfect. You're at 75?
Yes.
78. And turn, tap. Pull to your left, tap. Keep forward, tap. Good. That's just frustration, it's okay. Go in slow turn. Pull to your left. Tap. Tap. Good. Forward. There you go. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Slow walk. Turn. Tap. Slow walk. Keep forward. Keep forward. A little better. A little better. Slow turn. Nothing here because she's turning with you. There you go. Keep forward. Pull inwards a little bit. Tap. There you go. Excellent. Keep forward. There you go. Slow turn. Good. Hug to the right. Tap. Bring her in. Exactly. Good, good, good. Slower walk. And slower. And stop. Yep. And relax. Good. Okay. See the difference? Again, forward. Good. Yeah, good job, good job. Slow turn. Tap forward. You got it. Good. Slow walk. Slower. Slower. Slow to stop. And relax. We're going to accept that for now. Very good. We're going to do one more. Forward. Good. We're at 78 now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tap, tap, forward. Tap, tap, forward. You got a runner behind you, just heads up. Go and turn. Right, good. Yep. Correct, good. You're gonna go slower, slower, stop, tap, good, okay. Questions about any of that?
I don't think so. It seems like she is kind of getting what we want her to do. Like I'm noticing her like notice where I am and then like slow down.
That's correct.
A little bit, so.
Yeah, she's still not, she's like, cause look at her, her head, right? Where is she facing?
Right.
Okay, so give it a look at her, give a tap. You see that? So you said don't worry about what's over there. I'm over here.
Okay.
Okay? So if this were any other dog, she would be looking right at you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay? And it's nothing good or bad.
okay.
Again, tap. Okay, it's nothing good or bad. This is just how there it is. Just how overstimulated she is. Okay, so for you, as humans, you know, the cars, people, runners, bikes, skateboarders, you know, dogs, it's like stay in the world. But for some dogs, it is a lot. Okay? So what you're doing here is you're saying, hey, don't worry about any of that stuff. You should be worried about me.
Okay.
Because when you're not focused on me, things happen.
Okay.
That's that e-collar. Okay. Okay. So what we're doing here is this week we're going to be really picky about stuff.
Okay.
The more picky you can be, the faster she's going to get better. Okay. So when you came to the side, I didn't care if she went like this.
Facing off.
I didn't care.
Okay.
So when you do things, you want to work on what I call topics.
Okay.
The topic in that scenario was just preparing yourself for the shit zone. Okay, like, okay, I know it's going to happen. So I don't care what you're doing. I just don't want you to be reactive. She became reactive. We did everything to stop it. And at the very end, she's like, but that dog, nope. But that dog, nope. But that dog, nope. Right? So it's normal.
Okay.
So then here, we're being a little bit more picky because I'm not worried about a dog there.
Okay.
Right? So then I'm like, don't look that way. Okay? Because this is where your energy is. This is where your focus is.
Okay, so she should be facing this.
Yeah, I don't need her exact. Like I don't need like this either. But this is where we are. Okay. So when you came to, let's say there was a dog behind you, you stopped and she did this. Clearly her focus is on this dog approaching from behind. So then you would keep tapping, you know, like if we did a moving situation, so I created this. Okay. But let's say that dog gets 10 feet behind you, then this happens. Now it's closer, now it's more concerned, right? That's all normal stuff. Okay. But whenever we come across a dog, use space to your advantage. Okay. So I always have a hand step your head to the sidewalk. You're confronting now, and you're saying, I know what I want you to not do, right? And then she's got to learn. The only way for dogs, like you can't explain it to her. You can't say like, hey, Malachite, plunging and barking at dogs is not appropriate. She has to go through it and be corrected for it. Okay.
What?
And then once everything's done, you move forward. So like some of my clients will say, Jesse, I had a real rough week. My dog was like, super reactive. You know, how'd you say? Like they look at it as negative. And I go, man, like for me, that's more opportunity to teach dog what not to do.
Right.
You know, so from going from like running from dogs and avoiding them and crossing the street, I go to here we are, here we are, here we are, right? And dogs aren't stupid. They know when you're doing something, okay? So they know when you're crossing the street, that's avoidance behavior, okay? They know when you're doing this, you're confronting, you're going, hey, here it is, this is life, you're gonna see dogs. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, and then she makes a decision. You go, nope, you're not gonna do that anymore. Okay, so you're kind of like quote unquote spanking her with the remote when you're getting what you don't want. Okay, and make it simple. I don't care what you do, just don't twirl, spin, and be reactive. Anything in that category. So like I have a dog right now with like if this is the owner's leg. Right, tap that. Wait a moment. See how she pivots? It's okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what I'm going to do is give a little bit of guidance, pulling like that, a little bit more, a little bit more. Grab closer by her collar. Yep, now you're going to step aside like this. Now forward, tap, there you go, up right there. Up, tap, tap, tap. Okay, now go ahead and fix your leash there. It's okay. Good. That's the equivalent of a tantrum.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
So see how she's still. Now here, just tap, 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 tap. Almost. Up. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. No. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up.
I can't. There we go.
So, yeah. When she starts to put those paws on the leash, I know it may seem awkward. You just go straight up.
Just still pull?
Because most people, like what you just did, they go, let me remove it. But you did it for her. She needs to do it herself. That's the difference. Because when dogs do this, they're trying to take control back.
Right.
Okay. So I pull up and it becomes awkward, and I keep tapping, and eventually they go, crap, this isn't working. And they'll let go, and they'll do this, right? That's why I tap, 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 tap. Wait a moment. You see how she wasn't breaking yet? Okay. But you see how she got closer to you?
Yeah.
Relax. Okay, so she's still facing that way. There we go. Now she's starting to look elsewhere. Because you broke it, partially because the dog's out of sight, but you kept the pressure on.
Okay.
Is she moved away from the dog and closer to you.
Okay.
So that's kind of like de-escalating. Okay. So we're always trying to create what I call an away motion. So reactivity is usually this. So I don't want this. I want this. Okay. And you'll start to see the difference. Okay. So I call it moving like either moving into the behavior, moving out of it.
Okay.
And you always want moving out of it. Okay. And then until we create ideally avoidance behavior. So going back to earlier, I have a client whose dog was reactive, and if this is her leg, when a dog's passing, he goes like this. He puts his head behind her leg because he's saying, I can't handle looking at the dog because I will blow up.
Okay.
But I'll do this because that helps me. That's fine. All I want is you don't blow up. I don't want lungy, barking, spiraling, any of that stuff. Yep. There you go. Yep. There you go. So she tells you exactly what's on her mind. It's just learning to read it and being sensitive to it. Okay? Questions?
Shoot, no. I don't think so.
So we're going to do that. We're going to give the slack again. And this time, And then, yep, grab by the handle. Perfect. This time, I'm not going to coach you. I'm going to just have you do your thing. Okay? Go ahead. Right, good job. Right. Good. You got it. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Good job. Kept. Yeah, you got it. Good job. You got it. Good.
Was I good to not tap for?
That one you should have tapped her because she was distracted. She only caught it because towards the end she paid attention.
Okay.
You got it. Let's go. You're at 78, right?
Huh?
78?
Yes.
Let's go to 81.
Should I try the stopping thing?
Excuse me?
Should I try the stopping thing?
Whenever you're ready. Yeah. That's okay. There you go. Good. Very good. We're gonna try that again.
Okay, just walking.
Yeah,
stop.
you'll walk, stop, however you make the rules.
Okay.
That's better. Right, better. Go ahead. Good.
Oil, gas, pressure.
Good. And last little walk here. Better. See how she looked like she kind of did that on her own a bit.
Okay.
Right. Good job. Good job.
Drop my hair.
What subject does she normally teach? She teaches Spanish. Wow. So yeah, I think it's
Very good. We'll go ahead and I'll have you step off to the grass here. Yeah, we'll stand in the shade over here. All right. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you your homework for the week.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Doesn't seem like much. A little close up. Doesn't seem like much. But this is the foundation for everything. Okay. So the way this is supposed to work is the heel is giving her a reference point. When you feel this, here. Okay. But the obedience isn't what's helping her with reactivity. It's all the electronic traction. So at the very beginning, did you see how stimulated she was?
Yes.
And she's still stimulated.
But it's better, yeah.
It's coming down, right? So here, as you employ this more, we should ideally just keep seeing a decline, okay? Now you might hit a plateau because it's like some people Arch is like very like high anxiety or like, you know, high nervousness or nervous, or you know, everybody has like their own thing. Like me, like I very rarely have ever felt anxiety, and I'm just like, and it's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
But I get plenty of clients who like struggle with it,
Okay.
and I get some that are, you know, even take medication and stuff to help them with it. That's just how their body is wired. Okay, so you might find at some point you hit a plateau. Maybe we don't get her as calm as we want her to,
Okay.
but you're like, oh wow, this is like, you know, 70% better than what it was before, because it's easier to handle a dog at a 30% anxiety level and stimulation than 100%.
Right.
Okay, so every time you walk her, we should see more and more progress.
Okay.
Almost always when people struggle with stuff, it's the number.
Okay.
Okay, they're too low.
Yeah, half it.
Okay, but you hadn't had my guidance yet. Now you've
Right.
had my guidance. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's what dictates things.
Okay.
So, and in your neighborhood, it may be different because maybe she's so comfortable in your neighborhood, it's higher, or she's comfortable in her neighborhood, so it's lower.
Okay.
Okay? There's no right or wrong here. That's why finding that working level is so important. So when you come outside, what I suggest, give her a potty break first. Let her do her business, pee and poop, get that out the way, and then start this process. Okay? Before you start your walk, exactly like we did today, find that working number.
Okay.
Remember, you want a twitch and a whoa. What was that?
Okay.
So if you get it at 55, then you start at 55. If you get it at 95, then you start at 95.
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry about the number. She doesn't care. Okay. Worry about the results. Okay. I don't go by, you know, what I think is best for the dog. I go by what the dog tells me is best for them, which is by how she responds to it. Okay. So once you've gotten that working number, you then start your back and forth process. Okay. So you only need to turn when Malachite passes you.
Okay.
Otherwise, you keep going forward, okay? So like, let's say you're going on forward for 10 minutes, and she's doing great, awesome, right? She's starting to like learn and focus more. What could you do to test if she's paying attention?
Slow down a little bit.
Yes, you would change your speed, okay? Most people stop or turn.
Okay.
Those would be unfair movements, okay? Because they're too sudden. You just change your pace.
Okay.
That's why before you turn, sometimes what would I say? Slow turn, yeah, slow down. Or I would say slow, slower, slower, stop, right?
Okay.
So you drove here, right?
Yes.
What do you do before you stop?
Slow down.
What do you do before? Yeah, usually if you do an abrupt stop, what's going to happen? You're going to collision, exactly, right? Or you like hit your wheel. What do you do before you turn?
Blinker, slow down.
Blinker, slow down. So let everybody know what you're doing, okay? So that change in speed is to communicate. Same thing for Malachite here, okay? That change in speed, if she's paying attention, she should match and go like, oh, what are you doing? Then you'd come to that stop, or then you'd come to a turn, okay? Now, if you slow down and she keeps going, she's not paying attention, you would just turn and start remoting to bring her to your side, okay? You're using remote for anything you don't want. So like when you're walking and she started sniffing the grass, you just kept forward, tap, 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 right? So if she's ever going to the side, you can do both. You can either turn or go forward. I find it easy to keep forward, to keep tapping, and the dog just closes in like this, okay? But whenever Malachite gets ahead of you, like passing wise, you always want to do that turn and tap to line her up with your left leg, okay? Because for her, when she feels that, she goes, hey, I don't like this. And then she turns around, she goes, oh, mom's going that way. She catches up and it stops. So then it's communicating to her, you're going the wrong way, I'm going this way, okay? So there's an actual communication to it. It's not just, you know, zap, zap, zap. So when you need her to go potty, we'll do it prior. But let's say you do an hour-long walk and she's done great, and you decide, I'm going to give you some time to have another potty break. You would simply come to a stop. Malachite should stop with you. You would pull up, give that tap, put her in that sitting position, wait a moment, and I use the word break. Break means your job is done. It means you can pee, poop, roll on the ground, sit on the ground, have a cigarette. She's on her own time. But she still can't be reactive. So like, let's say she's on break and you see a dog coming, you just grab your leash, pull up and tap, and get ready for it. Okay? So don't worry about saying anything. We're not saying heel, we're not saying sit, none of that stuff. We're just worried about discipline. Okay? So the more nonverbal you are, the more you're using that remote. People tend to be very verbal. Heel, sit, you know, and it means nothing to a dog because they keep doing whatever it is they're doing. So I'm making sure by not using words other than break, you're forced to use the remote, okay? Because that's what's going to help her progress. People look at the remote as like the last resort. This is why I do remote, because it's straightforward, it's simple, I can get it done, and then the owner can like without much technical skill repeat it and just take it and do their own thing. Okay, everything else is too complicated or doesn't work. Okay, that's why I don't do that stuff. So questions for me so far?
I did think of one. So obviously you see how she is with other dogs, even if they're not necessarily right by her. The people in my building have like a little tiny dog. She can hear him when he's outside going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And even that, she gets up, whines, barks, like moves around because she can hear and she knows it's another dog. Should I be using the e-collar for that?
You can if you're inside.
Okay.
You know, and then she wouldn't be on a leash or anything,
Right.
and you would just remote her to stop whatever she's doing.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll send you videos on other ways of stopping her, correcting her behavior.
Okay.
So like within the home, you're not solely dependent on the collar. You know, but you would, whenever you're outside with her, or anytime you could have guests over, or she'd be out in public or something, you're going to need control because you have much more to contend with than you would within the home.
Okay.
What I wouldn't want you to do is, like, let's say she's off leash for whatever reason, and she's like eating goose poop. I wouldn't like technically you would just correct and jump it, but I wouldn't do that now because I wouldn't want you to correct it too high, and she runs away.
Okay.
Because we want to cover recall. We want to cover come when called first. Yep.
Right,
Yep.
it's definitely on Steve, but
Yep. 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 Yep.
Kind of looking at me.
And if you watch other videos and stuff, you know, like you'll see like holy shit, like all those dogs are looking at their owners. And it's just how stimulated she is.
Okay.
It's nothing good or bad.
She doesn't hate me or anything.
Yeah. No, she's taking to the collar very well.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want you using it anywhere where she'd be off leash because I don't want you to make her run away by accident. You would slowly use it for the reactivity, the leash walking, and indoor stuff. That's fine.
Okay.
The slack that we're giving, right? Because I'm having you give a lot of slack, is of course when you have the space to do so.
Okay.
Like here it was traffic, but not that traffic, and the things that happened weren't really things that we were worried about being reactive with, right?
Right.
But when we saw the dogs, we shortened the leash, we stepped aside, okay? So like if you're in your neighborhood, you're like, yeah, this is a little bit busier, you can shorten your leash. I just want you to not shorten it so much that you're like, earlier you saw like it was so short that it was pulling up on that gentle leader.
Yeah.
Is we don't want that.
Okay.
You should always be like this, okay? Nice and relaxed. You get what you give.
Okay.
Okay, if you're tense, you get tension. You give relaxation, you get relaxation, okay? I don't use any words here. I don't say no or anything like that because I don't want her to learn things on cue.
Okay.
These are default behaviors. You just don't lunge and bark at dogs.
Okay.
Okay,
That
so when
makes
you
sense.
say no, the way a dog brain works is if you say no, when she's being reactive and then you remote her, technically she can be reactive until you say no.
Okay.
So you know, so if you like, so she'll do it for 5 minutes and then it's like, oh crap, now you're gonna correct that, like pull up.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want her to lay down. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll explain. So you never want to say no. I just correct. So then she thinks if I don't want to be corrected, I don't become reactive.
Okay.
So like if you don't want to get a ticket, you don't speed, you don't run red lights, right? You obey the laws.
Okay.
Same thing for dogs. Okay. Now here she laid down. Nothing bad on the scope of what dogs can do. It's in comparison to what she has been doing.
Right.
But if you come to a stop and there's a dog to your right, by the way. Okay. But her energy here is passive. She's
Okay.
looking, but it's passive. Her breathing starting to change a little bit. Okay, she's locking on. Those ears starting to pucker a little bit. Now the head turn. There it is.
Yep.
Now the puff. Okay.
Tap.
So go ahead and shorten your leash. So you always want to have shortened. There you go. And then she let it go.
Okay.
Wait. See what happens. And then she redirects to something else. Okay. So I go by her behavior. I know it was escalated, but it was contained.
Right.
Okay. And I mean, we're gonna push for more, but for now, to give her an idea of like, look, like there can be a dog and you won't be remoted. It just depends on how you respond.
Okay, so you don't want her to know that, like, oh, I see a dog, that's bad. I see a dog do this, and then it's bad.
Yes. Okay. So, dogs, the way they rationalize is by doing something, they're being an aversive and then repeating. Okay. So, like right now, she didn't do anything other than look, and technically, yes, that would be correctable. But I was just going like, what are you gonna do? She didn't escalate, and then nothing happened.
Crazy, yeah.
And then she goes, oh, okay, cool. Like, all right, I can look at dogs. I just can't be a jackass.
Right.
Okay, that's all it comes down to. So that's how dogs learn. Okay, so let me think here. Don't be afraid of too much e-collar. Like more the better. Okay, I'm very liberal, very generous with all those taps. Just making sure we're at the appropriate level. One thing I will say, just as FYI, is when we're trying to shut down reactivity, I didn't see any signs of it today, but because the dog is escalated and you're going higher, we get what we call redirected aggression. Okay, so the dog will go after the leash or the handler.
Okay.
Okay, and it's not making her aggressive to you. It's because she's so pissed off and you're annoying her with the remote, is that it has to go somewhere, and you're the closest thing. Okay, so I always want to be ready with an up and away motion. So up to de-escalate and away. So if she tries to target, this is why the leash being short is important. So going to pull up like this and going to take one step to your right, and she stays where she is. Okay, is when we do this. If she tries to go your way, she's not going to have enough leash. Okay? If she goes up, since you're already pulling up, your hand will go up, and then your hand will come down with her. Okay. So you're just riding it out. Okay? And then once she settles, you relax, and then you can reposition. Okay? So I didn't see any signs of it today, but I'd rather have you know that just in case. Okay. If you're trying to address a situation of reactivity and you feel like it's getting worse, or it's escalating, or it's not stopping, or whatever, just stop and just keep that up and away motion. Okay, ride it out. Forget about the remote for a moment. Once it passes, come back, and then you'll get her back in track. On track by doing the back and forth exercise. Okay. And then we want to watch for the things that she's becoming reactive to. Other reactive dogs is normal right now. Dogs being fences would be normal. But like if you notice, like man, like small dogs and calm dogs, like she's not being reactive anymore. But she still reacts like with excited dogs. I go, makes sense to me. We just keep working. Okay. If we see no change in her reactivity, but you're able to stop it much easily, you would let me know that, and I go, okay, we're gonna make a couple of adjustments. Okay. That's how this works. I don't know in the end what your answer is gonna be. I just know this is the first thing that I start with, and I go, what does it fix? And then you're the one that tells me. Okay. Every walk, even if it's a quick little potty break, since she's that reactive, I would suggest you calling her up. Okay. Because I've had plenty of clients. Jesse, I just went up for a quick 30-second pee break with the dog, and I saw a parade of dogs, and it was hell. I'm like, that's the gamble. Okay. So you want to be consistent. You know, even if you're not using the heel, it's just there, so you can stop the nonsense, and you're being consistent. Okay. Otherwise, she becomes a gambler, and she's like, can I get away with it, or can I not get away with it?
You gotta get zapped this time.
Exactly. You may notice, like for instance, right now on the way to your car. If you want to reinforce this, you're more than welcome to, but it's probably going to take you quite a length of time to get back to your car, possibly.
Okay.
I had a client, it took him an hour, but man, he made so much progress so quickly because he was super strict with it. Okay. So that's up to you. Otherwise, let's say you run out of time, and you're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. You would simply stop. You would say break, and then let her pull you home or whatever, because you've issued a break. Okay. So it only matters that she's on your hip. Once you tap and turn, that triggers everything. Okay. That she doesn't need words. The human needs words. Okay. Once she feels that tap, she's gonna know I'm on the hip. I can't do any nonsense behavior. Okay, that's fine. But once you cue break, technically she's free to do as she pleases. So then you don't have to worry about that pulling behavior.
So that would be how I would get more quickly if I really need to.
Exactly. Okay. If you run out of time, what I would suggest, because typically on the way home, dogs forage. Because they're like, now that there's rules and things, this isn't fun, I want to go home, is I would spend 5 minutes going away from the home and give yourself 15 minutes to go back to the home. You know what I mean? You're giving yourself more time. And then as you see her get better, then you can do more distance one way and come back. Dogs learn better in small increments. So if you did 3 20-minute walks, that would be ideal. Because if all you have is 1 solid hour for the exercise, then just do 1 solid hour. Okay? Because it's not redundant, it doesn't stress them out. But dogs, their brains, like right now when we were stopping between every little practice session, she was processing everything. That's why I do that. And that's why each time it was progressively getting better and better and better, because she was literally just thinking in her brain, like, how does all this stuff work? And building on top of that. Okay. Questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I think you're going to have some reactivity this week. It's okay. Use them to your advantage. You know, that's our research. Remember, step aside. If it's a situation where you're like, man, this is not going to bode well, use your better judgment. Cross the street if you have to, okay? So like someone might have their dog in a flex leash, or someone's dog might be off leash. You want to avoid those situations, okay? Do not be afraid to speak up. Okay, so like you said, you saw in that video, somebody came up with the dog, right? And I said no, and you know, they still did it. But that dog was muzzled, right? So for you, your responsibility is Malachite. Right, so she's sitting here, you're watching her, but if you start to see someone like, oh hey, you brought your dog aside for me, no, we're training, right? You shouldn't have to explain yourself. You know, no should be fine, but typically people will listen to no, we're training. Okay. I've learned not to be polite because people don't listen to polite. That person didn't even listen to rude. I just said no. Okay, so don't be afraid to speak up. You know, you might be called a jerk, whatever. I've been called a jerk. I've been called an asshole. I'm not going to see them again. They don't know what you're dealing with. Okay, so
I don't want her to fight another dog.
exactly.
So, yeah.
If you get a shit show situation, up and up.
Okay.
Up and up, okay? Because, and like, let's say a dog is off leash and at your feet. When you go up and up, she's on her hind legs and her legs are up here.
Okay.
Now she can't direct her body because that's how dogs direct their body. That's why I said harnesses create more pulling and reactivity.
Okay.
Because they can, and it puts it more at her leverage because she pushes back or pushes forward with the hind legs and pulls forward with the front legs, giving her a lot of power.
Okay.
So if you pull up and you immobilize the front legs, well, one, the mouth is up here, can't reach, but also she can't direct her body.
Okay.
Okay, so you just be up and up, kicking the dog away, whatever you got to do, telling the person get your damn dog. You know, whatever it is you need to do to prevent anything from becoming too big of a shit show.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else?
I think so.
Okay. So please shoot me an email so I can send you those videos. Everything we saw today was good.
Nice.
Nothing out the ordinary.